I'd driven 3 hours in a snowstorm to meet strangers who shared my DNA. And I'd found that DNA wasn't enough to create instant family. But it was a start. A foundation. Something to build on. And over time, with effort and honesty and patience, maybe these strangers could become something more. Not parents and siblings in the traditional sense. But people who mattered. People who cared. People who were part of my story. I'd gone searching for my birth mother thinking I'd find answers. Completion. A sense of where I belonged. What I found instead was more questions. More complexity. More uncertainty about identity and belonging and what family means. But I also found Maria. A woman who'd loved me enough to let me go. Who'd spent 36 years mourning what she'd lost. Who'd never forgotten me. Who'd waited her entire life for me to find her. That was worth the drive through the snowstorm. Worth the anxiety. Worth the overwhelming chaos of a Latino Christmas party. Worth all of it. Because now I knew. I knew where I came from. I knew who gave birth to me. I knew the story of how I came to be. And that knowledge, that understanding, that context, it didn't change me. But it added to me. Made me more complete. More whole. I had a supportive family waiting for me at home. The Johnsons. The people who'd raised me and loved me and made me who I was. They were my family. My real family. That would never change. But now I also had Maria. And my siblings. And a grandmother who was dying but who'd made sure to meet me first. And aunts and uncles and cousins who'd held space for me in their family for 36 years. I had 2 families now. 2 stories. 2 sets of people who cared about me. And maybe, just maybe, that was better than just one. The snow had stopped. The roads were clear. And I was driving toward home. All of my homes. All of my families. All of the people who'd made me who I was. Sophia Johnson. Sophia Martinez. Both names. Both families. Both true. I was enough. I'd always been enough. And now I had twice as many people to remind me of that. I had a supportive family. I had a great Christmas waiting for me at home. So why was I driving 3 hours in a snowstorm to meet a room full of strangers who shared my DNA? My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. Not from the cold. Not from the snow that was making the highway treacherous. But from the fact that in less than an hour, I'd be walking into a house full of people who were technically my family but felt like strangers. People who had my nose, my eyes, my smile. People who'd lived their whole lives together while I'd lived mine somewhere else entirely. Maria. My birth mother. The woman who'd given birth to me 36 years ago and then placed me for adoption. The woman I'd searched for my entire life without really admitting I was searching. The woman I'd found a year ago through a DNA test I'd taken on a whim, telling myself it was just for fun, just to see my ancestry break down, nothing serious. Except it was serious. It was the most serious thing I'd ever done. The DNA results had come back showing I was 98% Latina. Colombian, specifically. That wasn't a surprise. My adoptive parents had told me I was Latina, though they didn't know much beyond that. What was a surprise was the notification that I had DNA matches. Close DNA matches. A half-sister. 3 half-brothers. Cousins. Aunts and uncles. An entire family tree that suddenly existed where before there had been just blank space. And then, Maria. Her name appeared in my matches 6 months after that initial test. She'd taken a DNA test too, hoping to find me. We'd both been looking, in our own ways, circling each other through databases and genetic markers until finally connecting. That first email had been terrifying to write. Hi, I think you might be my birth mother. I was born on March 15, 1988, in Miami. Do you remember placing a baby girl for adoption that year? Her response came 3 hours later. Sophia. I've been waiting for this email for 36 years. Yes. Yes, I remember. I remember everything. We'd been in contact for a year now. Emails at first, careful and polite. Then video chats. Then longer video chats where we actually started to talk about real things. About my life. About her life. About the adoption and why she'd made that choice. About the family I didn't know I had. She'd been 17 when she had me. Alone in a new country. No resources. No support. The father had disappeared. Her own family was still in Colombia and couldn't help. Adoption had seemed like the only option. The right option. The option that would give me the life she couldn't provide. And it had. My adoptive parents were wonderful. They'd loved me completely. Given me everything I needed. Supported every dream. I'd had a happy childhood, a good education, a stable life. I had nothing to complain about. So why did I feel this hollow ache every time I thought about Maria? Why did I feel like I was missing something, even though I'd never lacked anything? You should come for Christmas, Maria had said during our last video chat 3 weeks ago. The whole family will be there. Your brothers and sister. Your aunts and uncles. Your cousins. Everyone wants to meet you, Sophia. They've known about you for years. They've been waiting. They'd known about me for years. While I'd only learned they existed a year ago. They'd been waiting while I'd been living my life, completely unaware that somewhere, there was a family that knew I existed. That thought of me. That wanted to know me. I don't know, I'd said. That's a lot. Meeting everyone at once. What if it's too much? What if I don't fit in? What if they don't like me? Maria had smiled. That gentle smile I was still getting used to seeing on someone else's face. A face that looked so much like mine. They'll love you. How could they not? Your family. Family. The word felt strange. I had family. The Johnsons. The people who'd raised me. The people who'd given me their name, their love, their entire lives. They were my family. These people Maria was talking about, they were relatives. Biology. DNA. But were they family? My mom, Linda Johnson, had been supportive when I told her about finding Maria. Too supportive, maybe. She'd smiled and said she was happy for me and encouraged me to build a relationship. But I'd seen something flicker in her eyes. Something that looked like fear. Fear that she'd lose me. Fear that I'd choose my birth family over her. Mom, this doesn't change anything, I told her. You're still my mom. You always will be. I know, honey, she'd said. But you should get to know them. You should go to their Christmas if you want to. It's important. But I'd already committed to Christmas at home. With the Johnsons. With the family who'd raised me. That was the plan. That was what I'd always done. Until Maria had called 2 days ago, her voice heavy with disappointment. I understand if you can't make it, Sophia. But this might be the only Christmas we can all be together. Your grandmother, my mother, she's not doing well. She's 92. She came from Colombia to meet you. To meet her granddaughter before she dies. This might be her last Christmas. And just like that, I'd been trapped. How could I say no to a dying grandmother I'd never met? How could I deny her the chance to see me, to know me, even just once? So I'd talk to the Johnsons. Explained the situation. They'd understood, of course. They always understood. Go, my dad had said. Meet your birth family. We'll be here when you get back. We'll do Christmas on the 26th instead. Which is how I ended up driving through a snowstorm on Christmas Day, my stomach in knots, my anxiety through the roof, heading toward a house in New Jersey where I was going to walk into a party full of strangers who were expecting me to be someone I wasn't sure I could be. Their family. There's Sophia. The girl they'd been waiting for. The GPS said I had 15 minutes until my destination. 15 minutes until my life changed in ways I couldn't predict. 15 minutes until I met a grandmother I'd never known existed until 2 days ago. I pulled over at a rest stop. Needed a minute. Needed to breathe. Needed to consider turning around and driving home and forgetting this entire thing. I looked at myself in the rearview mirror. Dark eyes. Dark hair. Olive skin. Features that had always set me apart in my very white adoptive family. Features that I'd learned to love, but that had also made me feel different. Other. Not quite belonging. Would I belong with them? With Maria and her family? Would I finally feel like I fit? Or would I feel even more displaced? Caught between two families. Two worlds. Two versions of myself. I pulled out my phone. Called my mom. Linda. The woman who'd been my mother for 36 years. She answered on the first ring. Sophia? Are you okay? Are you there yet? I'm close, I said. I don't know if I can do this, Mom. What if it's awful? What if they expect me to be someone I'm not? What if I disappoint them? Then you disappoint them, Mom said simply. Sophia, you don't owe them anything. You're going there because you want to. Because you're curious. Because you have questions only they can answer. But you don't have to perform for them. You don't have to be anyone other than who you are. And if it's too much, you can leave. You can come home. We'll be here. I feel guilty, I admitted. For wanting to know them. For being curious. Like I'm betraying you. Oh, honey, Mom said, and I could hear tears in her voice. You're not betraying anyone. You can love us and be curious about them. Both things can be true. Your dad and I always knew this day might come. We always knew you might want to find your birth family. And we want you to. We want you to have all the pieces of your story. Even if some of those pieces don't include us. All of the pieces include you, I said. You raised me. You made me who I am. That doesn't change just because I'm meeting the people I'm biologically related to. I know, Mom said. But it's okay if things feel complicated. It's okay if you don't know how to feel. Just be honest. With them and with yourself. And call me if you need me. Anytime. After we hung up, I sat in the parking lot for another 10 minutes. Watched families walking in and out of the rest stop. Families of all kinds. Some that looked alike. Some that didn't. All of them connected by something more than biology. By love and choice and years of shared experience. That's what family was, I reminded myself. Not just DNA. Not just who you looked like. But who chose you? Who showed up? Who stayed? The Johnsons had chosen me. They'd shown up every single day of my life. They'd stayed. But Maria had chosen adoption because she'd wanted me to have a better life. That was a kind of love too, wasn't it? A different kind. A harder kind. The kind that meant letting go instead of holding on. I started the car again. Pulled back onto the highway. Drove the last 15 minutes to the address Maria had given me. The house was in a neighborhood full of similar houses. Two-story colonials with driveways and front yards. Holiday decorations everywhere. Lights and wreaths and inflatable Santas. Normal suburban Christmas. I found the address. Pulled up to the curb. Sat in the car with the engine running, staring at the house. There were a lot of cars in the driveway and along the street. The party was clearly in full swing. I could see people moving past the windows. Hear music and laughter even from outside. This wasn't going to be a quiet, intimate meeting. This was going to be chaos. My phone buzzed. A text from Maria. Are you here? I'm watching for you. Can't wait to hug you in person finally. Hug me in person. We'd never hugged. Never touched. We'd only existed on screens, in emails, in the abstract space of digital connection. Now she wanted to make it physical. Real. Undeniable. I texted back. I'm here. Just parked. Be right in. I turned off the car. Sat in silence. Took 3 deep breaths. Reminded myself I could leave anytime. Reminded myself this was my choice. Reminded myself I was brave enough for this. Then I got out of the car. The snow had stopped. The air was cold and crisp. Christmas Day in New Jersey. Somewhere, families were opening presents and drinking eggnog and enjoying quiet, peaceful holidays. Here, I was about to walk into a loud Latino Christmas party where I knew no one and everyone knew me. I walked up the driveway. Up the front steps. Stood in front of the door. Heard the party inside. Music and voices and laughter and life. So much life. I rang the doorbell. The door opened immediately. A woman stood there. Late 50s, maybe. Short. Round. Warm eyes. A huge smile. She looked at me and her hands flew to her mouth. Sophia, she breathed. Oh my God. You're here. You're really here. And then she was hugging me. This stranger. This woman I'd never met. Pulling me into her arms and holding me tight and crying into my shoulder. I'm your Tia Carmen, she said. Your aunt. Your mother's sister. We've been waiting so long to meet you. So long. I stood there, frozen. Let her hug me. Didn't quite hug back. Didn't know how. This was too much too fast. I'd barely made it through the door. Carmen, let her breathe, another voice said. A man appeared behind my aunt. Late 30s. Tall. My exact smile on his face. He looked at me with tears in his eyes. I'm Miguel. Your brother. Your oldest brother. A man with my exact smile grabbed me for a hug. He said, I'm your brother Miguel. I had never had a brother. Well, that wasn't entirely true. I had 2 adopted brothers. David and Scott Johnson. We'd grown up together. But they didn't look like me. Didn't have this immediate, visceral connection that came from shared biology. Looking at Miguel was like looking in a mirror. Like seeing a version of myself that could have been. Come in, Carmen said, pulling me inside. Everyone's here. Everyone's dying to meet you. Maria. Maria, she's here. And then Maria was there. My birth mother. The woman I'd been video chatting with for a year. She looked exactly like she did on screen but also completely different. More real. More substantial. More there. She was crying. Full on crying. Tears streaming down her face as she walked toward me. Sophia, she whispered. Mi hija. My daughter. You came. You actually came. She pulled me into a hug. Her arms around me felt strange and familiar at the same time. Like something I'd been missing my whole life without knowing it. Like coming home to a place I'd never been. I hugged her back. Actually hugged her. Let myself feel it. The reality of her. The solidity of her. The fact that she was real and here and holding me. I'm so glad you came, she said into my ear. So glad. I was so worried you'd change your mind. I almost did, I admitted. This is terrifying. I know, she said. I'm terrified too. But you're here now. You're here and you're perfect and I can't believe I get to hug you finally. She pulled back. Held me at arm's length. Looked at me with such intensity one felt exposed. Like she was trying to memorize every detail. Make up for 36 years of not seeing me. You look just like I imagined, she said. Just like I hoped. Before I could respond, the room erupted. People came from everywhere. The kitchen. The living room. Upstairs. Suddenly I was surrounded by strangers. Strangers with my face. My nose. My eyes. My hair. Strangers who looked like family even though they felt like anything but. This is your brother Carlos, Maria said, pulling forward a man in his early 30s. He had my eyes. Exactly my eyes. And your brother Javier, she continued. Another man. Late 20s. My eyebrows. The same arch. The same shape. And your sister Lucia, she finished. A woman. 23 or 24. My smile. My exact smile. I had siblings. Half-siblings. People who shared a mother with me. People who'd grown up together while I'd grown up alone. People who'd had Maria their whole lives while I'd had questions and blank spaces. And this is Abuela, Maria said, her voice dropping to something softer. My mother. Your grandmother. An old woman stepped forward. Tiny. Fragile. But her eyes were sharp. Intelligent. She looked at me like she could see right through me. See all the way to my DNA. To the parts of her that lived in me. Sophia, she said in heavily accented English. My granddaughter. I prayed to see you before I die. God answered my prayer. She pulled me down, I was much taller than her, and kissed both my cheeks. Then she held my face in her hands. Studied me. Smiled. You have my mother's eyes, she said. Your great-great-grandmother. I haven't seen those eyes since she died. And here they are. In you. Living on. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know how to respond to this. To the weight of family history I'd never known existed. To the idea that I carried the eyes of a woman who'd died long before I was born. That my face was a map of people I'd never known but who lived on in me. The introductions continued. Aunts and uncles and cousins and people whose exact relationship to me I couldn't track. Too many names. Too many faces. Too many people touching me and hugging me and crying and saying how long they'd waited and how happy they were. It was overwhelming. Completely overwhelming. The noise. The emotion. The sheer number of people. I felt like I was drowning. Like I couldn't breathe. Like the walls were closing in. I found Maria in the crowd. Is there a bathroom? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Of course, she said. Upstairs, first door on the left. Are you okay? Yeah, I lied. Just need a minute. I escaped upstairs. Found the bathroom. Locked myself inside. Sat on the edge of the tub and put my head in my hands. What was I doing here? This was too much. Too many people. Too much expectation. Too much history I didn't know how to be part of. I pulled out my phone. Texted my mom. I don't know if I can do this. There are so many people. They all want a piece of me. I don't know how to be what they need. Her response came immediately. You don't have to be anything. Just breathe. Just be yourself. And if you need to leave, leave. No one will judge you. But they would. Maria would. She'd invited me to meet her dying mother. To meet my grandmother. I couldn't just leave. That would be cruel. Selfish. Ungrateful. I stayed in the bathroom for 10 minutes. Washed my face. Looked at myself in the mirror. Gave myself a pep talk. I could do this. I was an adult. I'd been through hard things before. I could handle a Christmas party with my birth family. When I came back downstairs, the party had continued without me. Music was playing. People were eating, dancing, talking in rapid Spanish that I couldn't quite follow. My Spanish was limited to what I'd learned in high school. Nothing like the fluid, native Spanish being spoken all around me. Maria found me standing awkwardly at the bottom of the stairs. "There you are," she said. "Come, let me get you some food. Are you hungry?" I wasn't hungry. My stomach was in knots. But I said yes, anyway, because it gave me something to do. Something to focus on besides the overwhelming reality of being here. The kitchen was full of food. Dishes I recognized from Colombian restaurants I'd been to. Dishes I'd never seen before. Maria loaded a plate for me, explaining what everything was. Empanadas. Lecona. Arepas. Tamales. Arroz con pollo. "This is how we celebrate Christmas," she said. "With food and family and music. Lots of music. Lots of noise. I know it's probably different from what you're used to." "Very different," I admitted. The Johnsons did quiet Christmases. Small. Just us. None of this chaos. None of this volume. "Is it too much?" Maria asked, concern in her eyes. "I can ask people to give you space if you need it." "No, it's okay," I said. "I just need to adjust. It's a lot to take in." We sat at the kitchen table. Just the two of us for a moment while the party raged around us. Maria watched me eat. Watched me like she was afraid I might disappear. "I'm so glad you're here," she said again. "I keep saying it, I know. But I can't believe it's real. That you're really here. I've imagined this so many times. Meeting you in person. Getting to hug you. And now it's happening and it feels like a dream." "It feels surreal," I agreed. "Like I'm watching myself from outside my body. Like this is happening to someone else." "Is it what you expected?" she asked. "The family? The party? Me?" I didn't know how to answer that. I hadn't really let myself expect anything. Hadn't let myself imagine what this would be like. Because imagining meant hoping. And hoping meant the possibility of disappointment. I didn't know what to expect, I said honestly. I've never done anything like this before. I don't know how to be part of this. "You don't have to do anything," Maria said. "Just exist. Just be here. That's enough. That's more than enough." Lucia appeared in the doorway. My half-sister. The one with my smile. "Can I steal her?" she asked Maria. "I want to introduce her to the cousins. They're dying to meet her." Maria looked at me. Asking permission. I nodded, even though I wanted to say no. Wanted to stay in this quiet moment with just Maria. But I'd come here to meet the family. That meant all of them. Not just Maria. Lucia linked her arm through mine. Led me to the living room where a group of people in their 20s and 30s were gathered. "Everyone, this is Sophia. Our cousin. The one Maria told us about." They all turned to look at me. 7 or 8 people. All around my age. All with variations of my features scattered across their faces. A nose here. Eyes there. That particular way of smiling. We were connected. Undeniably connected. And it was strange and wonderful and terrifying all at once. "I'm Rosa," one of the women said. "Miguel's daughter. Which makes us cousins. I think." The family tree gets confusing. Everyone laughed. I tried to laugh too. Tried to seem relaxed. Normal. Like I wasn't having an internal crisis about being surrounded by genetic relatives who were functionally strangers. "How does it feel?" another woman asked. "Meeting everyone? Is it weird?" "So weird," I admitted. "But also kind of amazing?" "I don't know. I'm still processing. That's fair, she said. I'm Gabriella, by the way. Carmen's daughter. We grew up hearing about you. About Maria's daughter who'd been adopted. You were like this mythical figure. And now you're real. Mythical figure. Is that what I'd been to them? A story they told? A person who existed in theory but not in practice? What did she tell you about me? I asked. Maria? That she loved you, Rosa said. That she thought about you every day. That she hoped you were happy and safe and loved. She used to cry on your birthday every year. My dad said it was the hardest day for her. Knowing you existed somewhere but not knowing where or how you were. I felt something twist in my chest. Maria had cried on my birthday. Every year. While I'd been celebrating with the Johnsons, blowing out candles and opening presents, she'd been mourning. Grieving what she'd given up. Who she'd given up. I didn't know, I said quietly. I didn't know she thought about me. I always wondered if she did. If I mattered to her or if she just moved on. She never moved on, Lucia said, sitting down next to me. None of us did. You were always part of our family. We just hadn't met you yet. The conversation continued. My cousins asking about my life. My job. My adoptive family. Whether I was married. Whether I had kids. Normal getting to know you questions. But they felt weighted. Heavy with the years we'd missed. The relationship we didn't have. I tried to answer everything honestly. Told them about my job in marketing. About being single. About the Johnsons and how wonderful they'd been. About my life in California. About how different my world was from this. Do you speak Spanish? One of my cousins asked. A little, I said. Not fluently. I took it in school, but I've never really used it. We could teach you, Lucia offered. If you want. If you're going to be part of this family, you should speak the language. If I was going to be part of this family. Not when. If. Like it was a choice I still had to make. Like I hadn't already made it by showing up here. Had I made it? Was I committing to this? To being part of their family? I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. Miguel appeared with drinks. Handed me something in a red plastic cup. Coquito, he explained. Coconut rum drink. Christmas tradition. Try it. I took a sip. It was sweet and strong and tasted like coconut and holidays. It's good, I said. Everything tastes better at a Latino Christmas party, he said with a grin. My grin. It was so strange seeing my expressions on someone else's face. Like looking in a mirror that moved independently. Can I ask you something, he said, his tone shifting to something more serious. Did you have a good life? With your adoptive family? Were they good to you? Everyone stopped talking. Looked at me. Waiting for my answer. This was the question they all wanted to ask, I realized. The question underneath everything. Did the adoption work? Was Maria right to give me up? Did I turn out okay? Yes, I said firmly. They are wonderful. They loved me completely. Supported me in everything. I had a great childhood. A great life. I have nothing to complain about. Relief washed over their faces. Good, Miguel said. That's what Maria needed to know. That she made the right choice. That you were okay. I'm more than okay, I said. I'm happy. I had opportunities one never would have had otherwise. Education. Stability. Love. So much love. But you still wanted to find us, Lucia said. Even though you had all that. You still wanted to know where you came from. Yeah, I admitted. I did. I always wondered. About my birth parents. About why I was adopted. About whether there was a family out there who looked like me. Who shared my DNA. I needed to know. And now you do, she said. Now you know. We exist. We're real. We're here. You're here, I repeated. You're all here. It's a lot to take in. The evening wore on. I cycled through conversations with different relatives. Each one asking similar questions. Each one trying to figure out who I was. Where I fit. How I connected to them. I met my brothers properly. Sat with each of them. Learned about their lives. Carlos was a teacher. Javier was in construction. Miguel ran his own business. They all had families. Kids. Lives that had continued while I'd been living mine thousands of miles away. Did Maria tell you about your father? Carlos asked during our conversation. About who he was? A little, I said. She said he left when she told him she was pregnant. That she never heard from him again. Carlos nodded. We have different fathers. All of us. Maria had a hard time for a while. After she gave you up. Made some bad choices with men. But she's been stable for years now. Remarried. Happy. I'm glad, I said. And I meant it. Whatever complicated feelings I had about Maria, I wanted her to be happy. Wanted her life to have worked out. She's been waiting for this for so long, Carlos continued. For you to contact her. For you to want to know her. You've given her something she thought she'd lost forever. I don't know if I can be what she wants, I said. What any of you want. I'm not the person you've been imagining for 36 years. I'm just me. Just Sophia. And I don't know how to be your sister or your daughter or your cousin. I only know how to be myself. That's all anyone wants, Carlos said. Just you. Whoever that is. We don't have expectations, Sophia. We're just glad you're here. But they did have expectations. I could feel them. Could feel the weight of 36 years of wondering and waiting and hoping. Could feel the pressure to be worth it. To be worth Maria's grief. Worth their curiosity. Worth the space they'd held for me in their family. Around 9 p.m., I hit a wall. The noise and the people and the constant questions became too much. I found Maria. I think I need to go, I said. This has been wonderful, but I'm exhausted. It's been a really big day. Her face fell. Already? But you just got here. Stay a little longer. Please? I've been here for 5 hours, I said gently. I met everyone. I ate the food. I saw the family. But I need to process all this. I need space. Where are you staying? She asked. Did you book a hotel? You should stay here. With me. We have a guest room. You shouldn't be alone. The thought of staying here, in this house, surrounded by the family all night, was overwhelming. I already booked a hotel, I lied. I need my own space. But I'll come back tomorrow if you want. We can talk. Just us. Without the whole family. Maria's eyes lit up. Really? You'll come back tomorrow? Yes, I promised. I want to talk to you. Really talk. Without an audience. Is that okay? That's perfect, she said. That's what I want too. I wanted tonight to be about the family. But I need time with just you. To tell you things. To explain things. To know you. She walked me to the door. The family called out goodbyes. Too many people saying they'd see me tomorrow. That they hoped I'd come back. That they loved me even though they'd just met me. Could you love someone you'd just met? Could biology create instant connection? Or was that just wishful thinking? Projection of what people wanted to feel. I didn't know. I didn't know anything anymore. I got in my car. Sat in the darkness. Watched the house with all its lights and music and life. That was my birth family in there. Those were my people. Genetically speaking. But the Johnsons were also my people. The ones who'd raised me. Loved me. Made me who I was. Could I have both? Could I belong to both families? Or would trying to connect with one mean betraying the other? I drove to a hotel I found on my phone. Checked in. Got to my room. Collapsed on the bed. Pulled out my phone. Called my mom. How was it? She asked immediately. Overwhelming, I said. Really overwhelming. There were so many people, Mom. So many relatives. And they all looked like me. It was surreal. Did you like them? She asked. Her voice was careful. Neutral. But I could hear the fear underneath. The worry that I'd found something with them I'd never had with her. I don't know, I said honestly. They were nice. Welcoming. But it all felt so strange. Like I was supposed to have instant connection just because we share DNA. But I don't know them. They don't know me. We're strangers who look alike. That's normal, Mom said. You can't force connection. It takes time. Did you ever worry? I asked. That I'd find my birth family and leave you? Choose them over you? There was a pause. Then, yes. Every day since you were old enough to understand you were adopted. Every time you asked about your birth parents. Every time I saw you look in the mirror and see features that didn't come from me. I was terrified you'd find them and realize they were what you'd been missing. Mom, I said, tears in my eyes. You're not what's missing. You never have been. What's missing is answers. History. Understanding where I come from. But that doesn't replace you. Nothing could replace you. I know, she said softly. In my head, I know. But my heart still worries. Still fears. Because I love you so much, Sophia. You're my daughter. I don't want to lose you. You can't lose me, I said. I'm your daughter. I'll always be your daughter. Finding Maria doesn't change that. Meeting her family doesn't change that. You're my mom. Period. We talked for another hour. About the party. About the people I'd met. About how I was feeling. About my plans to see Maria alone tomorrow. About when I'd come home. After we hung up, I lay in the dark hotel room and thought about identity. About family. About belonging. About how complicated it all was when you were adopted. The narrative was supposed to be simple. Grateful adoptee finds birth family. Joyful reunion. Everyone lives happily ever after. Two families coming together in perfect harmony. But the reality was messier. I loved my adoptive family. They were my family. The real ones. The ones who'd shown up every day. But I also felt this pull toward Maria. Toward the family that shared my DNA. Toward understanding where I came from. Could I have both? Could I navigate this without hurting anyone? Without feeling like I was being disloyal? I didn't know. But I was going to have to figure it out. The next morning, I woke up early. Couldn't sleep. Too much racing through my mind. I showered. Drank terrible hotel coffee. Stared at my phone. Maria had texted. Good morning. Can you come over around 10? I told everyone to stay away. It'll just be us. I want to show you something. I texted back. I'll be there. I drove back to the house at 10. The street was quiet. No cars packed in the driveway. No music blaring. Just Maria's house, normal and suburban in the daylight. She answered the door before I could knock. You came, she said, smiling. I was worried you'd change your mind. I promised, I said. She pulled me inside. The house looked different without all the people. Cleaner. Calmer. I could actually see it now. Family photos on the walls. Normal living room furniture. A life that had continued for decades without me in it. Coffee? Maria offered. Please. We sat in the kitchen. Just the two of us. The awkwardness was back. Without the buffer of the party, the noise, the other people, we were just two women who didn't really know each other. Two women connected by biology and history but separated by 36 years of different lives. I wanted to thank you, Maria said. For coming yesterday. For meeting everyone. I know it was a lot. Too much, probably. But they've been waiting so long. They needed to see you. To know you were real. It was intense, I admitted. But I'm glad I did it. It helped me understand. Where I come from. What my genetic family looks like. Maria's face flickered with something when I said, genetic family. Like the phrase hurt her. Like she wanted me to say real family instead. I have something to show you, she said, standing up. Come with me. I followed her upstairs to a bedroom. Clearly hers. There was a dresser covered in photos. Family photos. But as I got closer, I realized some of them weren't of her other children. They were of me. How did you? I started. The adoption was open until you were 3, Maria explained. Your parents sent me photos. Updates. Letters. Then they moved and I lost contact. But I kept everything they sent. Every photo. Every update. Every detail about who you were becoming. She opened a drawer. Pulled out a box. Inside were photos of me as a baby. As a toddler. Letters in my mom's handwriting describing my first words, my first steps, my personality. Evidence that Maria hadn't just forgotten me. That she'd kept track. That she'd cared. I have 3 photo albums, Maria said. One for each of my other children. Full of their lives. Every moment documented. And I have this box for you. Pieces of your life. Fragments of who you were. It's not the same. It's not complete. But it's what I had. What I held on to. I stared at the box. At the evidence of her love. Her loss. Her grief. Why did you stop writing? I asked. My parents said you stopped after I was 3. I didn't stop, Maria said quietly. I wrote every year on your birthday. Sent the letters to the adoption agency. But your parents had moved. Changed their information. The letters came back unopened. After a while, I stopped sending them. But I never stopped writing them. She pulled out another box. This one full of letters. Dozens of them. All addressed to me. All unopened. These are yours, she said. If you want them. A letter for every birthday. Every Christmas. Every time I missed you so much I couldn't breathe. They're yours. They've always been yours. I picked up one of the letters. The envelope was worn. Old. My name written in careful handwriting. Dear Sophia, today you turn 10 years old. I wonder what you look like now. If you're tall or short. If you kept your curls or if they straightened out. I wonder if you're happy. If your parents treat you well. If you have friends. If you like school. I hope you do. I hope you're everything I imagined you could be. Tears blurred my vision. You wrote to me every year? Every year, Maria confirmed. Because you were always my daughter. Even when you weren't with me. Even when I didn't know where you were. You were mine. Part of me. I couldn't stop loving you just because I'd given you to someone else. Why? I asked. The question I'd been holding back. The big one. Why did you give me up? Why didn't you keep me? Maria sat on the edge of her bed. Her face crumpled. Because I was 17. Alone in a country where I barely spoke the language. I had no money. No job. No family here. No support. Your father had left. I was living in a shelter. I couldn't even take care of myself. How was I supposed to take care of a baby? But you kept the others, I said. Carlos and Javier and Lucia. You raised them. Why not me? Because by the time I had them, I was older. Married. Stable. I had resources. I had help. With you, I had nothing. The social worker said you deserved better than what I could give you. She said adoption would give you opportunities one couldn't provide. And I believed her. I wanted you to have everything. Even if that meant I couldn't be the one to give it to you. Did you regret it? I asked. Every single day, Maria said without hesitation. Every single day for 36 years. I regretted it. Mourned it. Wondered about you. Wondered if you were happy. If you hated me. If you'd ever want to know me. The pain never stopped, Sophia. It just became something I learned to live with. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to comfort her. Part of me was angry. Angry that she'd given me away. Angry that she'd kept her other children but not me. Angry at the unfairness of it all. I had a good life, I said. My parents loved me. I never wanted for anything. I was happy. Good, Maria said, wiping her eyes. That's all I ever wanted. For you to be happy. For you to have a better life than I could have given you. If that happened, then I made the right choice. Even if it destroyed me. We sat in silence. The weight of 36 years between us. The weight of a decision made in desperation. The weight of love and loss and grief and hope. Can I ask you something? Maria said finally. Of course. Why did you take the DNA test? What made you decide to look for me? I thought about it. About the truth I hadn't admitted to anyone. I always felt like something was missing. Not because my parents didn't love me. They did. Completely. But there was this blank space in my identity. I didn't know where I came from. Didn't know my medical history. Didn't know if I had siblings. Didn't know why I looked the way I did. I needed answers. I needed to know. And now you know, Maria said. Was it what you expected? I don't know what I expected, I admitted. Maybe I thought finding you would make me feel complete. Would fill in all the blank spaces. Would make me understand who I am. But it's not that simple, is it? No, Maria agreed. It's not that simple at all. I feel torn, I confessed. Between two families. Two identities. I love the Johnsons. They're my family. But I also feel this connection to you. To my siblings. To this entire history I didn't know I had. And I don't know how to balance both. I don't know how to be loyal to everyone. Maria reached across the space between us. Took my hand. You don't have to choose, Sophia. You can love both families. You can be both the daughter the Johnsons raised and the daughter I gave birth to. Both things are true. Both things can exist at the same time. But doesn't it hurt you? I asked. Hearing me talk about them as my family? Knowing they got to raise me and you didn't? It hurts, Maria admitted. But not because of you. It hurts because of the choice I had to make. Because of the circumstances that forced me to give you up. But I don't resent your parents, Sophia. I'm grateful to them. They gave you everything I couldn't. They made you who you are. A woman I'm incredibly proud of. You don't even know me, I said. I know enough, Maria said. I know you took the time to find me. I know you drove 3 hours in a snowstorm to meet your dying grandmother. I know you're kind and thoughtful and willing to sit here with me even though this is uncomfortable. I know you're my daughter. That's enough. I felt tears running down my face. I don't know how to do this. How to have a relationship with you. We missed so much time. 36 years. How do we get past that? We don't get past it, Maria said. We live with it. We accept it. We start from where we are now. We can't change the past, Sophia. But we can decide what the future looks like. What do you want the future to look like? I asked. I want to know you, Maria said simply. However much you're willing to share. I want to be part of your life. Even if it's just emails or video chats. Even if it's only once a year at Christmas. I just want to know you exist and that you're okay, and that somewhere, you think of me sometimes. I think of you all the time, I admitted. Since I found you. I can't stop thinking about you. About what my life would have been like if you'd kept me. About who I'd be if I'd grown up here instead of with the Johnsons. You'd be a different person, Maria said. Maybe better. Maybe worse. But different. And I know it's hard not to wonder. Not to imagine the alternate timeline. But Sophia, we can't live in what-ifs. We have to live in what is. And what is this. You and me. Here. Now. Trying to build something from nothing. From DNA, I corrected. Not from nothing. We share DNA. That's something. Is it enough? Maria asked. DNA? Is that enough to build a relationship on? I thought about my brothers and sister. My cousins. The family I'd met yesterday. We shared DNA. We looked alike. But did we have anything else? Any real connection beyond biology? I don't know, I said honestly. I want it to be. I want to feel this instant connection. This sense of belonging. But I don't. Not yet. Maybe not ever. And I feel guilty about that. Like I should feel more than I do. You don't owe me anything, Maria said firmly. Not your love. Not your loyalty. Not your presence in my life. You don't owe me anything, Sophia. Whatever relationship we build, it has to be because you want it. Not because you feel obligated. But I do feel obligated, I said. You gave birth to me. You're my mother. Biologically. That means something. It means biology, Maria said. It doesn't mean family. Not automatically. Family is choice. Family is effort. Family is showing up. Your adoptive parents? They're your family. They chose you. They showed up. They loved you. That's what makes them your family. Not biology. Then what are you? I asked. If not family? Maria smiled sadly. I'm the woman who gave birth to you. The woman who loved you enough to let you go. The woman who's been waiting 36 years to know if you're okay. I'm whatever you need me to be, Sophia. Mother. Friend. Stranger. Genetic connection. It's your choice. It's always been your choice. I looked at her. Really looked at her. This woman who shared my face. Who'd carried me. Who'd made the hardest decision of her life because she thought it was best for me. Who'd mourned me every day for 36 years. Who'd kept letters she couldn't send. Who'd held space for me in her life even when I didn't exist in it. I want to know you, I said. I want to try. I want to build something. I don't know what it will look like. I don't know if it will work. But I want to try. Maria's face broke into the biggest smile I'd seen from her. That's all I needed to hear. That's more than I ever hoped for. She pulled me into a hug. And this time, it felt different. Less awkward. More real. Like maybe we could build something. Like maybe there was a future where we were part of each other's lives. When we pulled apart, Maria wiped her eyes. I want to tell you something. About your grandmother. About why I insisted you meet her. Okay. She's dying, Maria said. Cancer. She has maybe 6 months. She came from Colombia specifically to meet you before she dies. Because I told her about you. About giving you up. About searching for you. And when I told her I'd found you, that you existed and were healthy and happy, she said she needed to meet you. Needed to see you with her own eyes. Needed to know the granddaughter she'd never known. That's a lot of pressure, I said. To meet someone who's dying. To be what they need me to be. I know, Maria said. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have guilted you into coming. But I was desperate. She's my mother, Sophia. And she has one wish before she dies. To meet you. To hold you. To tell you that you're part of this family. Did I fulfill that wish? I asked. Did yesterday give her what she needed? Go ask her yourself, Maria said. She's downstairs. She stayed here last night. She wants to talk to you. Just the two of you. My stomach dropped. Now? She wants to talk now? If you're willing, Maria said. She doesn't have much time, Sophia. And she has things to say to you. I wanted to say no. Wanted to escape. Wanted to avoid this heavy, loaded conversation with a dying woman I barely knew. But how could I say no? How could I deny a dying woman her last wish? Okay, I said. I'll talk to her. Maria led me back downstairs. To the living room. Where my grandmother was sitting in an armchair. Small and frail. But her eyes were bright. Alert. She looked at me with such intensity. Sophia, she said. Sit with me. Please. Maria left us alone. Just me and this old woman who shared my DNA. This woman who was my grandmother. My abuela. I sat on the couch across from her. Waited. Didn't know what to say. Do you know what it's like, she began, to find out you have a granddaughter you never knew existed? To learn that 36 years ago, your daughter gave birth in a foreign country and gave the baby away and never told you? I imagine it's difficult, I said. Difficult doesn't begin to describe it, she said. I was angry. At Maria for not telling me. At myself for not being there for her. At the circumstances that forced her to make that choice. But mostly, I was sad. Sad for all the years I'd missed. All the birthdays and holidays and moments I should have been there for. You didn't know, I said. It's not your fault. Maybe, she said. But I still grieve what we lost. The relationship we could have had. The memories we could have made. But we can't change the past. We can only accept what is and decide what comes next. What do you want to come next? I asked. I want to know you, she said. Even if only for a little while. Even if it's just these few days before you go back to your life. I want to know my granddaughter. The one I didn't know existed. The one who carries my mother's eyes. Everyone keeps saying that, I said. About the eyes. About carrying someone's features. Because it matters, my grandmother said. In our culture, family is everything. We carry our ancestors with us. In our faces. In our bodies. In our spirits. You carry your great-great-grandmother's eyes, Sophia. That means she lives on in you. That means you're part of a chain that goes back generations. That means you belong to something bigger than yourself. I don't feel like I belong, I admitted. I feel like an outsider. Like I'm playing a role. Like I'm supposed to feel something I don't feel. What are you supposed to feel? She asked. Connected, I said. Like I finally found my people. Like this is where I was meant to be all along. But I don't feel that. I feel confused and overwhelmed and guilty because I don't feel what everyone expects me to feel. My grandmother laughed. Actually laughed. Sophia, no one expects you to feel anything specific. We just want you to be here. To exist. To let us know you. But you're dying, I said. This is your last wish. To meet me. That's a lot of pressure. My last wish isn't to meet you, she said. My last wish was already fulfilled. I wanted to know you were real. That you existed. That you were healthy and happy and loved. Maria told me all that a year ago when she found you. Yesterday just confirmed it. I saw you with my own eyes. I hugged you. I kissed your cheeks. I know you're real now. That's enough. Just that? I asked. Just knowing I exist? Just that, she confirmed. Sophia, I'm 92 years old. I've lived a full life. I've seen my daughter build a family. I've watched my grandchildren grow up. I've experienced joy and pain and everything in between. I don't need anything from you except to know that you're okay. That you're part of this family. That even if we never see each other again, you know where you came from. I know where I came from, I said. Now. I didn't before. But now I do. Good, she said. Then I can die in peace. She said it so matter-of-factly. So calmly. Like death was just another thing happening. Not the end, but a transition. I wish we'd had more time, I said. I wish I'd known about you sooner. We have the time we have, she said. That's all anyone gets. And I'm grateful for this. For yesterday. For today. For knowing you're real. She reached out her hand. I took it. Her skin was papery. Fragile. But her grip was firm. Take care of Maria, she said. She needs you more than she'll ever admit. She's carried the guilt of giving you up for 36 years. She needs to know you forgive her. That you understand. That you don't hate her for the choice she made. I don't hate her, I said. I never did. I just needed to understand why. And now you do, my grandmother said. Now you understand that sometimes love means letting go. That sometimes the hardest choice is the most loving one. That's what Maria did. She loved you enough to give you to people who could give you what she couldn't. We talked for another hour. She told me about Colombia. About the family still there. About my great-great-grandmother whose eyes I carried. About the history I came from. About the culture I was part of even if I didn't feel it. And slowly, something shifted. Something clicked into place. Not a sense of belonging exactly. But a sense of understanding. Of context. Of knowing where I fit in the larger story. I wasn't just Sophia Johnson anymore. I was Sophia Johnson, daughter of Linda and David. And Sophia Martinez, daughter of Maria. And Sophia, granddaughter of this woman who was dying but who'd made sure to meet me first. And Sophia, carrier of eyes that went back generations. Part of a story bigger than myself. When Maria came back into the room, my grandmother smiled at both of us. You two should spend time together, she said. Get to know each other. Build something. Don't let 36 years of separation define your relationship. Start now. Start fresh. Maria looked at me. Do you want that? Time together? Just us? I nodded. Yeah, I do. We spent the rest of the day talking. Really talking. Not about the heavy stuff. Not about the adoption or the years missed. But about normal things. About our lives. Our interests. Our jobs. Our favorite foods and movies and books. I told her about my life in California. About my job. About my friends. About the Johnsons and how much they meant to me. I didn't hold back. Didn't try to spare her feelings. I was honest about loving my adoptive family. About them being my real family. The ones who'd raised me. And Maria listened. Didn't get defensive. Didn't seem hurt. Just listened and asked questions and tried to understand who I was. They sound wonderful, she said. Your parents. I'm glad you had them. I'm glad they loved you the way they did. They're the reason I'm okay, I said. The reason I can be here now. Talking to you. Building this. Because they made me secure enough in their love that I'm not afraid of finding you. You can love both, Maria said. Them and me. It's not either or. I'm starting to understand that, I said. It's taken me a while. But I'm getting there. As the sun set, we sat on her back porch. Just the two of us. Wrapped in blankets against the December cold. Drinking coffee. Watching the sky turn purple and orange. Thank you, Maria said quietly. For coming. For trying. For giving me this chance. Thank you for searching for me, I said. For taking that DNA test. For giving me the option to know you. What happens now, she asked. When you go back to California? Do we stay in touch? Do we try to build something? Or was this it? 2 days and then we go back to being strangers? I thought about it. About what I wanted. What I could handle. What felt right. I want to stay in touch, I said. Regular video chats. Emails. Texting. I want to know you, Maria. Not as a replacement for my mom. But as another person who cares about me. As my birth mother. As the woman who made the hardest choice of her life because she wanted me to be happy. Maria's eyes filled with tears. That's more than I ever hoped for. That's everything. I might want to visit again, I continued. Maybe bring my parents. Let them meet you. Let you meet them. I think they'd like that. They've always been curious about you. I'd like that too, Maria said. I've wanted to meet them for 36 years. To thank them. To tell them how grateful I am that they loved you the way they did. We sat in comfortable silence. Two women connected by biology and history and now, maybe, by choice. By the decision to build something from the fragments of what could have been. Can I ask you something? I said finally. Something I've been wondering. Anything. Do you ever regret having me? Or do you just regret giving me up? Maria looked at me. I've never regretted having you. Not for a single second. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. Even though the circumstances were terrible. Even though I couldn't keep you. Having you, carrying you, giving birth to you, that was a gift. Giving you up was the tragedy. But having you? That was pure joy. Even though it hurt? I asked. Especially because it hurt, she said. Because it meant I loved you. Really loved you. Enough to make the impossible choice. Enough to put your needs above my wants. That kind of love, it's the realest thing I've ever felt. I felt tears on my face. I'm glad you had me. I'm glad I exist. Even if it meant you had to give me up. Even if it meant 36 years of not knowing each other. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you're here too, Maria said. So glad. We hugged. And this time, it felt like coming home. Not to a place I'd never been. But to a person who'd always been there. Waiting. Hoping. Holding space for me in her life and her heart. I left the next morning. Hugged my grandmother. Goodbye. She held my face in her hands one more time. Live a good life, she said. Be happy. Make me proud. I will, I promised. I hugged my siblings. My aunt and uncle. The cousins who'd stayed around. Each of them telling me to come back. To stay in touch. To be part of the family. And I would. Maybe not as fully as they wanted. Maybe not as the long-lost daughter returning home. But as Sophia. Part of two families. Two worlds. Two stories. Maria walked me to my car. Safe drive, she said. Text me when you get home. So I know you're okay. I will, I said. Sophia, she called as I was getting in the car. Thank you. For giving me this. For being brave enough to find me. For coming here. For trying. Thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me, I said. For writing those letters. For keeping those photos. For never forgetting me. I could never forget you, she said. You're my daughter. That doesn't change just because you weren't raised in my house. I drove away. Watched the house disappear in my rearview mirror. Watched Maria standing in the driveway, waving. Not saying, goodbye, just see you later. On the drive home, I called my mom. I'm on my way back, I said. I'll be home in a few hours. Can we do Christmas tonight? Just us? Of course, she said. We've been waiting for you. How was it? Really? Complicated, I said. Really complicated. But also good. I'm glad I went. I'm glad I met them. And Maria? Mom asked carefully. How was she? She's good, I said. She's kind. And sad. And so full of love for me it's almost overwhelming. But she understands, Mom. She understands that you're my mother. That you raised me. That I love you. She's not trying to replace you. She just wants to know me. And do you want to know her? Mom asked. Yeah, I said. I do. I want both. You and her. The family that raised me and the family I came from. Is that okay? Of course it's okay, Mom said. As long as you're happy. As long as you know we love you. That's all that matters. I drove through the snow. Back toward California. Back toward home. The home I'd always known. The family I'd always had. But now with something new. Something additional. Something that filled in the blank spaces. I'd found my birth mother. I'd met my biological family. I'd seen where I came from. And it didn't change who I was. It just gave me more context. More history. More story. I was still Sophia Johnson. Daughter of Linda and David. Sister to Scott and David Jr., the person they'd raised and loved and made. But I was also Sophia Martinez. Daughter of Maria. Sister to Miguel and Carlos and Javier and Lucia. Granddaughter of a dying woman who'd come from Colombia to meet me. Carrier of eyes that went back generations. Both things were true. Both things could exist. I didn't have to choose. I could have both families. Both identities. Both stories. That was the gift of adoption. Not just one family. But two. Not just one story. But layers. Complexity. Richness.